Okay, they should be able to hear us.
And we're back. J-Pie warning.
Spicy. Dude,
Has anybody talked to J-Pie in a while? I haven't seen him.
Dude, I actually talked to him today.
Nice, good.
Yeah, he posted like a happy 4 months between him and his girl, and I was like, "Yo, how have you been, bro? Much love. Hope life is treating you good." Yeah, man.
As he posts a happy 4 months between him and his girl, you're like, I hope life is good, man.
Hey.
Nothing you've said so far is pointing to the good light,
Bro. I never assume. Right? Like, because here's the thing, I'm one that I typically don't post relationship shit on any of my social medias. But I promise you, I've been forced to post plenty of times in the past. That you're not gonna share our 4 months? We're like, fine, I'll share a post.
My wife will look at shit, like go through my Facebook page. She's like, all you do is post sports. You never post anything about us. I'm like, okay, but you do that. Your page covers it perfectly. Yeah. We're good. I don't
legit. Do anything else. I'm just over there like, hey man, people know there's an us. That's it. That's all you need. But what's up, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of the Fall Partner Panel. A little bit of a random intro there. Ironically, the Fault videos are going, but for some reason, a Raid Shadow Legends ad popped up. But no, so
shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug. Shout out to the homie J-Pie again. Hope you're doing well. But welcome, guys. So for those of you that don't know, the Fall Partner Panel is essentially just a little podcast that we do on a weekly basis where we go over all things Fault related, and we're not afraid to talk about little things that need to be talked about at times, while also we face some of these questions head on. Now, it is important to mention, and I think I'm going to start mentioning this at the beginning of our videos because there is a lot of confusion. We are not part of Strange Matter's team of developers. We are simply partnered with them as content creators. So we are connected in a way, but it is not our game. Like I'm telling you, how many comments I see. So, hey man, y'all need to fix your fucking game. And he's like, I'm not a y'all, but I appreciate you. Right. But yeah. So
then anything we say is not directly coming from them, or anything they say is not directly coming from us. Like we're not like that. So
completely separate entities that just happen to communicate, basically.
Correct.
But yeah, so we got a spicy subject. A nitpicky subject. Now I'm gonna love the nitpicky one, the Feng Mao one. So trust me, we're gonna talk about that one. But let's introduce our amazing cast as always, starting off with the Mangoose, the bearded Wolverine, and then I will go kick it off. Mangoose,
oldest to youngest.
What? Oh yeah, there we go. What's up, everybody? The Mangoose, and I'm the oldest.
He said, "Call me Papa Bear."
All of my opinions and everything I say is completely reflective of Strange Matters. No, I'm fucking with you. You know better than that. You know better than that. Over to you, bearded.
Mangoose speaks for the state of Virginia.
What's going on, everybody? I'm the bearded Wolverine, your Michigan Wonder. Excited to come back with you again with this. So, without further ado, Windu.
Right, and I am WinduTheMace, also known as Windu. Make any content related to MOBAs and or strategy games / racing games every once in a while. But as we were mentioning, this specific episode that you guys are watching is just strictly Fault, right? Now we might bleed here and there into other games in the genre. Sometimes we use them as comparison. So we do try our best to keep it still Fault oriented at the end of the day. So please be mindful of that as we go into certain conversations throughout, specifically today, that we are going to do a couple comparisons here and there. But I'm going to allow Bearded to be the game master of the conversations tonight.
DM.
Lead the subjects.
Well, all right. So just let's icebreaker right away. We all know that recently Predecessor made the announcement of capping the Series A investment or whatever. They got 20 million off their investment, right? We knew about this before. We made it, we saw a post about it before, but this has kind of made it public. It's now everybody knows about it, made the announcement. So with that, I've seen questions all over different socials and come arise with it, like, can Fault or SMS do enough with the amount of money that we don't know what they have, with whatever money they have, in comparison to what we know Predecessor has with the 20 million investment, and with what OverPrime has with Netmarble backing them. We know with OverPrime, we've seen their studio where they've been making stuff and putting out these great skins and stuff. And we know Predecessor is getting a bunch of money. That bunch of money is going to speed things up. Can SMS do enough to keep themselves at the position where they're at? Because in my opinion right now, it's a playable game. They're in the lead compared to where everybody else is at, because their games aren't playable yet. So right now they're in the lead. Until those games both come to be playable, where are they going to fall in the rankings at that point? What are your guys' thoughts?
So there's a lot of things that are gonna take play that affect, right? I think a lot of people are just focusing on the lump sum amount of money, which by all means, shout out to each one of the studios out there that have earned their individual amount of money, regardless of how they earned it, right? Because we've all seen that they all earned it in different ways. But I think a lot of people forget also that along with waves of investment also comes waves of the money, typically. And even Strange Matter themselves in Fault have seen this, because they're crowdfunded and they have waves of good funding, like let's say peak moments that a lot of people are buying, and then other slower moments that, just less people are buying per month, for example, right?
Right.
But I have seen a lot of people just throw out the 20 million number, for example. I think it's important to say that we don't know the amount that OverPrime has gotten, right? Because at the end of the day, even though they do have Netmarble backing, every project, regardless of how big the company, gets a budget. Like, hey, this is your budget for the year. This is your budget for the quarter. Do with that as you please. Or, there's this much for marketing. There's this much for rigging and blah, blah, blah. So I do find it interesting that we have one of these games out here telling people like, hey, we got this much money, which is super dope by all means. I like the fact that they're mentioning the money, but I also think that people that don't know how business works, they're almost falling for the blatant marketing and the way that it works. You get me? Because people assume that money just comes from out of nowhere. Yeah, like, for example, in Strange Matter's side, all the money that they've earned is coming from the clientele, the customers. At that point, it's not like they have to pay the customers back with money. They have to provide them with value, with gameplay, content, etc., updates, blah, blah, blah. Now, whenever that money's coming from third-party sources, you do got to pay them back with money. And a lot of people don't realize, like, hey, 20 million, is that like 1 million in shares, 19 million in loans? Is it 10 million in shares, 10 million in loans? Is it a royalty deal based off of the fact that they're assuming that they're going to make quite a bit of money? It's like, hey man, I even heard one person, and I'm not going to throw any legitimacy to this claim. I even heard a person saying that with a $20 million budget, there's no way this game is going to be free to play. I heard somebody say that, and I can't sit behind that, right? So who knows?
That doesn't make any sense, because you just look at any of the MOBA games, the MOBA genre itself, it's a free game. It's a free to play game, right? Like Fault right now, Fault gets so much shit right now because you got to pay for it, but it's still early access. Like, so people just don't understand early access. A lot of games early access is paid for. So that's fine in that situation. But once they go full release, if they are still paid access at full release, then you're going to have an issue. That's going to be a big thing. A lot of you're going to basically put a huge paywall against you. It doesn't matter if it's $5. That's a huge paywall that people are just like, They're not gonna like. Why am I gonna play a game that I'm also gonna have to? Once I get in there, there's gonna be things I'm gonna have to pay for. It's like Fortnite, right? Fortnite makes all their money off of that fucking battle pass and the store that they have. My son goes in and plays Fortnite, and it's like, Dad, I want this skin. I'm like, no, dude, I'm not putting more money on it. It's not happening. You got the battle pass. That's what you got. Play the
He
game.
said,
Earn the
you better
shit.
go get a lemonade stand. Shit.
Exactly. But I mean, that's like, but now imagine if I had to pay for the game, if I had to pay whatever money it was for Fortnite, and then my son goes in there and he sees that store and he sees the battle pass, he sees all this, and I've already paid for the game. Why am I paying more into this? So you can't do that with a MOBA, because that's where they're going to make a lot of their money, is off of that store and the characters and everything else going on that. So for that game to do that doesn't make any sense. So whoever made that claim, I completely disagree with them.
Yeah, I think Predecessor full release will be free to play. Whether there are early access is paid or not is still yet to be seen. This is an interesting topic because I kind of went into this one blind, but so I wrote some things down just now. I think there's a few important things to remember, and that's that mo money, mo problems. Predecessor themselves were able to outmaneuver and outperform a much bigger company in Metabuff. Metabuff is no more. So they were able to do that by being a smaller company, being more agile and making smarter decisions with the money that they did have, which was pretty much none. And that's why Predecessor is the powerhouse that they are today. Fault right now, they're in that position where they're a bit smaller. And it comes down to workflow management. Just because you have more money doesn't mean you have a better product. Think of it like if you're selling sodas or some shit, if you've got all the machinery like making the soda, filling up the bottle and all this shit, but you've only got one dude putting the caps on those sodas are going to be coming out slow as fuck. So it doesn't matter if you have all these people working, if there's going to be bottlenecks in your workflow. So I'm not saying that Pred has bottlenecks in their workflow, but it's a possibility, and it's something that Strange Matter obviously does not have. They've been able to consistently pump out plenty of patches, and they're not always the best. They fuck up their optimization and stuff because they're a new company. They're a bunch of amateur dudes, but they are consistently fixing that stuff and moving forward. Like I've said, they used to take one step forward and two steps back. Now they're more likely to take two steps forward, one step back, and sometimes just two steps forward and no steps back, which is good to see from Strange Matter. But yeah, with them being smaller, it could prove to be a little bit better for them. Definitely, it would be preferable if Strange Matter had a $20 million to work with. However, it's also, how do you get that money? Windu also alluded to it. An investment isn't a grant. It's not people just giving them money for free. They want a return on that investment. And what I've been looking into is trying to find out, where did Havali Investments are the ones that led the charge with this money given to Predecessor. Where did they get that money from? Like, I don't know how an investment company works. Like, I don't know who owns that. That's what I'm
like a VC.
Who owns shares in Havali Investment? Because whoever runs Havali Investment now owns quite a bit, or has quite a huge stake in the success of Predecessor. Whereas Strange Matter, it's only the community that has a stake in the success of Fault.
Well, with venture capitalist group or anything like that, it's not necessarily that Havali Investments has all those shares. Typically, the way it works with like VC groups, they find the buyers for you. They find the investors for you. They act as a middleman saying, hey, we got this little black book with plenty of people that got money and are looking to invest in games. You pay us, and we'll see who in this book is interested in your product. And then depending on how much money we get you, we take a cut. Because you owe us a fee for getting you to that door, for getting you that opportunity.
Okay.
That's how those companies make their money. So it literally could be just a group of a dozen people that now own shares, or a group of a dozen people that made some sort of deal, right? It could have been 100 people are now invested. It literally could have been 5. Like last time they did their 1.2 million on their seed round. 2.2, sorry. They're 2.2 million on their seed round. If I'm not mistaken, when I saw over the legal documents, there were literally just like 7 people that ended up with shares. So it doesn't always have to be a big group, doesn't always have to be a small group, but a company like that is literally there to purposely act as the middleman and open up opportunities at the expense of a fee, a cut, so to speak.
Right. No, I do think that's the benefit that Fault has is not having that suited man staring over their shoulder, you know, and you know, wanting their cut coming out of it. So I think they do have that benefit, but I'm just worried that, because you're right, the money doesn't instantly just make the game better, but it helps you get the resources to make the game better, which then can speed that process up, which then can give you that speed boost ahead of where we're at. And you know, I'm just, is Fault going to be enough? What they're doing now, is it going to be enough? Is that one step back going to be a stumble enough to allow Pred to take the lead? Is it, you know, or do they have to stop doing that one step back? Do they have to take 3 steps forward instead of 2 steps forward with these patches that they're putting out? Like, are what they're doing good? Is what they're doing good enough for what needs to happen in the future? Because they are going to have competitors when these games both go early access, for, you know, not for release, but they're going to come out full to play like we are right now, playable every day.
I'll be real. I think Strange Matters has one advantage. Strange Matters has found out the hard way that paying for somebody else's work and time does not mean the result is going to be something that benefits your company. Mm-hmm. We saw it with the HUD. We saw it in map design. You get me? Just because you can hire somebody to do a job doesn't mean by the time they're done that it's like, bro, you killed that shit. You know what? I wish we had employees like you. Not everybody's like that.
Right.
There's a good chance that there's gonna be several individuals along the line of the hiring process, contracting process, etc., where it's gonna be like, I don't know what fucking glue this guy's chewing on, but we need to replace him, bro. You get me? Like, it's bound to happen. And I think Fault has already experienced that. Fault has kind of figured out like a whole little method of like, hey, they keep it internally. They don't mind adding to the team, but they want to make sure that it's internal and team based, so they can actually control the flow, control the project better, etc. I've seen them, like, we've seen them outsource in the past, and you know, with moderate success. I think that Fault probably will stray away from that. Whereas, for example, we saw Predecessor outsource their backend, their networking and stuff like that, and they had pretty good success there. So I think after that success, they're probably going to be more inclined to use some of that money to outsource work. And that will come with its own delays, its own deadlines, its own setbacks, etc. So it,
that's another point that I wanted to bring up. They've had this $20 million for a long time before their last beta test.
A lot of people don't know that.
Did we see that much improvement? Did we see $20 million worth of improvement?
So with that,
beta test?
I mean, it's all speculation, because obviously I don't know. I'm not, you know, I don't sit next to Sergeant Smokey on the bus on the way to school or anything, so I don't know any of that. But the way I took that is that first stress test, it went to shit. And I personally feel, I don't know, don't have any inside information, but I personally feel they felt they went to shit as well. They didn't do as well as they wanted to do. They got shut down early. You know, they didn't like it. So they hired the back end people. They got that back end fixed. So they wanted to, all we were doing was stressing the servers. They didn't add anything extra into it. Now, could they have been doing stuff in the back end? You know, could they have had stuff prepped and ready to go, and new items and another hero ready? Possibly. But they were focused on getting that stress test, and so we played the same game pretty much, just stress test, you know, and we're stressing the servers, and we passed it. All right, here we go. The servers passed. we're doing great. That's what we wanted. We succeeded with what we wanted to do. Did we see anything extra? No, but I don't think they wanted to tilt their hand anywhere else either.
That's true.
Interesting, maybe.
I'm just saying that people seem to equate $20 million with an immediate improvement to the game, and that's just not going to happen.
Oh, no.
There will be improvements. And like I said, I would rather Strange Matter also have $20 million to work with, but I think that they can, if they make smart enough decisions with the people that they have, it won't be such a detriment to them. They're like the Viet Cong, and Pred is like the Americans in the Vietnam War.
Well, damn, bro, that's such a great example. Holy shit.
It is. Yeah. Well, speaking of making great decisions, that's kind of where I wanted to lead that into as well. Was we've seen, like you said before, with these patches, you've taken 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You know, we've seen it. We'll take 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Like, and these optimization issues that we've been pushing forward these patches. This last patch that came out, I've had huge optimization issues. And to the point towards, all right, I think I have it figured out to where I can play on, I cap myself at 60 frames per second. I can handle that, right? But then even now, I'm still getting drops during my 50 frames per second, or my 60 frames per second. I'm dropping down to 30, dropping down to 20. I'm like, what's going on? Like, why am I getting drops even if I cap myself when I was getting 119 pretty steadily? You know, something happened. What happened with it? And we got the movie coming up in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. No, 2 weeks. You know, we got the movie coming in 2 weeks. How, like, we can't really have these issues. Like, I'm hoping they're going to put another patch out. And if they put another patch out, if it goes worse than what it is now, we're going to have issues. Like, that's going to be part of the marketing. And then people are going to come play this game and like, oh, this is what they're playing on.
It would behoove them to have a PTR. However, they don't have a big enough player base to have a PTR unless they limited
a PTR,
a public test realm.
Oh, okay. Yes.
A lot of games, whenever you have a patch coming out, they let the public test the patch in a different version of the game. Maybe if they limited it to only a 50-person PTR, and then people could actually get in, because obviously the testers aren't enough. I'm not saying the testers are doing a bad job, but the testers only have a certain number of testers, and the testers only have a certain types of equipment that they're working with. I know they have a variety of equipment that they're working with,
right?
Potato computers to top of the line, but they still only have so many that they can work with. If you could get like 50 different people in there at a time testing out this new patch, they might know before they release it to the public that the optimization is shit and they need to fix that before they put that patch out.
Yeah, I do know that with this last patch, like, just talking with a bunch of testers, is that like when they were testing it, everything felt amazing. Something with that transition from the testing server to the live server, something changed. Something, a switch was flipped that wasn't supposed to be, or something. So like that's what I understand happened. But usually when those things happened, you know, you've had a hot fix. Like, all right, here we go. Here's the hot fix fixing this issue, or here's another patch, you know, kind of fixing that issue. And we haven't had that yet. And it's been a little while. Gaming is getting to be hard.
I don't know, bro.
Optimization hasn't been too bad for me this patch once, but I did have to tune down my settings lower than they have been previously for Vault, which kind of sucks for me.
Right.
Well, don't forget that they also made DirectX 12, like the native.
I played them on both. So the whole option is like, that's the native option, right? So they say if you have issues on DirectX 12, go to DirectX 11. You'll play like basically what you played before this patch. No, I literally have to play at cap 60 frames both, and I still lose frames on both.
No cap.
No cap.
Well, he's wearing a cap.
He's going to get more cap.
I can't, bro. Well, no, I mean, I don't know what it is, right? Like, and I think it's very important to say that I'm sure all three of us have pretty decent PCs, right?
Yeah.
Like, I got a 1080 Ti with an 8700K. You have 2080? 2070 Super with a 5900X. Like that, there's a lot of people out there that wish they had those PCs, quite frankly.
I think
They're not the
Mango's
top of the
running
line.
Windows 98 still, but I mean, he's still running pretty well.
No. Windows. Mango's is Windows 98, bro.
He is.
But no, I don't disagree. They need to find the fix. No hot fix yet. Probably leads me to believe that they probably haven't found the source, or maybe they found the source, but maybe it's different things affecting for different people. What if it's one of those things that it's like, hey man, for certain people, maybe it's the textures fucking it up, or for certain people, maybe it's the animations themselves. You get me? Like, they did implement this new auto check your settings feature, right? And maybe that's what's tripping out a little bit. What if auto setting is for some reason just like cranking shit to like auto setting 4K, like low-key running the game at 4K? You get me? Like, who knows? But I will say, I really want to see a blog post back. Am I the only one that wants that shit?
No, you are not the only one. But Black Tips, where you at? We know you've been wanting those dev blogs. No, you're not the only one. A blog post would be nice. That's something that, I don't want to have this be a harp on SMS, video, but like, that's one of the things that they kind of said, all right, now that we're here at this point, we're going to start seeing more dev streams. We're going to start seeing more, more patches or whatever, like, and we literally haven't seen, like, the dev streams have really been few and far between.
I mean, we have one around the corner. Hopefully that's the beginning of a snowball.
The gap of the last dev stream and this one, though, is quite the sizable gap when you're saying it's going to happen more often.
Don't say it like that, man. Goose is gonna smile.
I wasn't paying attention. I was lighting my cigarette. What I missed.
All right. So I mean, just stuff like that. There was somebody in Gen Chat was complaining about was complaining about the new map. How we need a new map because we had one that was promised to us 2 years ago. And I'm like, I wouldn't say we need a new map because it was promised to us 2 years ago. I would say we need a new map because of other things going on with it, like the reason that they said they wanted to bring in a new map, the fact of the fighting area, whatever it was that Sylphan broke down. Like, there's other things that go into us. I think we need a new map just so we can get rid of the Paragon IP and have it be all SMS IP. Like, that's a big reason. I don't think we need a new map because they promised to one 2 years ago. Like, that's, to me, not a big enough deal. Like, you said this had to happen, it needs to happen. I mean, sure. I mean, my dad told me we're going to Disney World. I don't think we ever went to Disney World. Like, that doesn't mean anything. Just because something was said doesn't mean it's going to exactly has to happen. Shit changes.
It's Mike TV. Crunch was the last hero that they released. The latest hero.
Yeah,
I don't know. One thing I wanted to address, something that you had said a few times. Why do you consider Strange Matter to be first? Just because they have a playable product out?
As of right now, they've had times, like you said, they've learned from these situations, right? They've put a patch out and had issues with it and was able to get a hot fix. Like, these other games haven't had that chance really to test that ability and how that was going. I mean, I know OverPrime, they did their 11 days, so they did kind of do testing live patches and whatever, stuff of that. But you still haven't had that like huge bug that came in or whatever and had to get fixed, stuff like that. And so I just think that just the fact that they've consistently had servers up for 24/7, the game's playable, people playing it, I think that just gives them a little bit of a lead ahead of them. I mean, I don't know how far that lead is because these other games aren't exactly playable at this moment.
Right. I mean, I would say in the court of public opinion, though, that in AEU, Pred is definitely ahead, while OverPrime is definitely ahead in Asia as far as just public support. Now, how that public support will change once the games are fully playable and in everybody's hands, we'll see.
Right.
But I don't know. I just found that interesting because I haven't considered Strange Matter to be first for quite a while now. just the way I look at it, but I can see the way you look at it.
I mean, if we're looking at
I understand your
communities, if we're looking at community support, if you ask me that, hey, who's leading in community support, I would exactly how it's broken down, how you said that. Like it literally in the Western hemisphere, Pred owns it, right? In the Eastern hemisphere, OverPrime owns it. Like definitely understandable, but I'm just talking about overall game wise, where they're at and how the game plays. I think fault is there because the other two games, I've still one thing that you referenced before is a game loop. I'm not feeling a good game loop with the other two games yet, with a little bit of times that we've been able to play them, and that's something they need to crack down on.
It's something that they will need to they're going to need several patches and stuff to catch up with their game once they come out. So I can definitely see why you're saying fault is in the lead there. But yeah, I consider who's on top. I consider to be the public opinion, the public support. That's my personal how I would rank them as far as who's in the lead.
Okay.
I got a question for you guys.
No. Anyways, what were you saying, man?
I hate them, bro. No. So check it out. Would it be a valid argument to say any company can buy themselves a lead?
No, because of the reasons I stated earlier.
So even
it makes things easier, but it doesn't guarantee success.
Right. I mean, they have the ability, but it's not guaranteed, I guess. It's yes and no with your question. Like it depends on what you're able to do with it, like, and how you're able to do with it. Are you gonna get the HUD team that SMS had, for their HUD, or are you gonna get the back end team that Predecessor got with their money? Like it all depends on what route you go with that and how you're able to go. Are you going to stumble with it, or are you going to, use it to your advantage?
Something that I know from talking to the Project Stamina lead, the old Project Stamina lead, that is Kidman. He's worked in the gaming industry for quite a while. He's worked on some pretty high profile games, and he would always talk about how the majority of your budget goes to marketing and advertisement. That's a vast majority of your budget. So I think money is mainly going to buy you visibility more than anything as far as the success of the games. Now, Strange Matter doesn't have the money to pour into marketing and advertising, but they still have somehow through, like I said, they dug their little Viet Cong tunnel into fucking BuzzFeed and Lionsgate, and they got themselves into this movie somehow, which the movie itself I don't think is going to be great advertising for them, but I think they can leverage a lot of that support and use that to market themselves a little bit more without the use of money. That's just smart, agile decision making that they're going to need to use as a smaller company. And again, like I said, Pred used to be like six fucking people against Metabuff, who was like 60, and Metabuff, nobody even knows that name. A lot of people don't even know that name anymore, but everybody knows Ameda. So it is very possible to use your smaller amount of resources to make smarter decisions and move ahead. I don't think Strange Matter is making those smarter decisions so far, though. They're not pulling ahead enough. They're just with the poor optimization and everything. They need to be smarter about that somehow. I don't know how. I'm not a game dev, but
right. No, I agree with you. That optimization, every other patch getting set back, it just hurts. And if we could get more consistency with it, I think we could see a little more consistency with the player base. With player base growth, because I mean I'll go play and I'll see names I don't recognize. I'll see people that are playing games and I'll know that they're not Smurfs, and I could go and look at my profile and I can see that they were in their placement matches. So it's like you could tell by the way they play it, that's not a Smurf. A Smurf's gonna sit there, they might toy with you for a little bit, then they're just gonna turn it back on. And these ones are playing like they don't even know what they're buying items and stuff. So they're new people. So you see it happen, but I don't think they're staying enough, because you have these optimization patches come in and it's like, and it gets set back, and it's like, well, they load back up, like, all right, let's play the game, and it's like, this is worse. What happened? You know, like, then they leave because they weren't that invested into it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, I will say, I'm still gonna give Strange Matter praise, right, for what they've actually accomplished. I do understand the sentiment of people saying, hey, they brought up stuff in the past, like, before we do new stuff, we want to at least the shit that was brought up before. I mean, I get it by all means, right? Not necessarily saying that a new map right now should be the focus, but I can't say that somebody that says that shit is wrong, you know? But
well, I definitely didn't say they were wrong. I just saying the reason for asking one is wrong. Like, there's are you right that they brought it up 2 years ago? Yeah, you're right. Did things happen in between that time? Did we have a map guide that wasn't a good map guide that we had to get reset? Did priorities shift because of certain things? Did we just have a movie that also we have to get things pressed off for? Possibly, I don't know. Like, things happen. Like, are you right that we need a new map? 100%. You're right. We need a new map. Is the reason we need a new map is just because they said it? No. That's my problem. Like, you can be the guy that wants to stand on that hill saying we need a new map, but just be up there for a good reason. Don't be up there just because you were told it was going to happen.
You know what's crazy? Just thinking back, since we talked about like the other playtests and stuff like that, I was actually amazed at how much support Vault was getting when people started trying other games, and they're like, hey man, I'm gonna be real with you, I like Vault better. Like, I was actually very, very surprised. Yeah. Like, the number of people that felt that way was way higher than I thought they were actually gonna feel.
Yeah, I mean, well, if we're talking about like in that situation, like when you go into Pred, you know, you have that last hitting, you know, mechanic, whatever you want to call it. I always call it execute mechanic because it literally tells you when you can execute the minion. So like, when you have that ability in there, when you have the jungle, I cannot jungle. You put me in Fault, put me in the jungle, you guys are gonna hate on me because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I cannot jungle. In Pred, I can jungle. It made it so easy to jungle with that instant smite or whatever that, you know, like automatic smite or whatever they had going on. You know, they made jungling so easy there. And took some of the skill away from it, like the ability of smiting the raptor or something. You know, they took that stuff away, so they kind of took a little bit of that chess game away from it, and I didn't like it. So I could see why a lot of people preferred Fault in that situation, because you play Fault once you get past that barrier of like trying to learn the game, and you finally got past it. Not saying you're amazing at it, but now you're not learning the game, you're playing the game, just trying to get better at it. It definitely is in a good spot.
Somebody in the chat, shout out to FPG. They just said in the chat that Fault jungle is easy too, which is crazy because when you play games like League or whatever, and every jungle camp is a different camp, different damage, different health values, you actually got to plan your route based off of what jungler that you pick. And in Fault, even though it's probably the more technical out of all the remakes, it's still pretty simplistic. Like, you could basically do the same jungle path with just about everybody and be okay. But can we kind of touch on your question that you mentioned earlier, like the whole can Fault do enough? I'm curious as to were you specifying like as far as game development, like can't they pump out enough skins, can they pump out enough content, or like, I guess I would counter ask, what do you mean by enough when you ask that?
Can they stay afloat? Can they stay up in the lead? Can they at least stay close to third place, you know, with relevant, you know, because relevant, yeah. Like, are they gonna, you know, is it gonna be a point to where, because already as it is, we got a low player base, right? And if tomorrow OverPrime and Predecessor both go live with their servers, like, that player base is going to get smaller. I don't know how much smaller. I don't know how long for how much, how much, because again, we people, like you said, people played both. They're like, hey, I preferred Fault, right? They're going to go over there. They're going to play it and they're going to be playing it for a little while, but are they going to come back? I don't know. At that point, what can Fault do? Not having the Netmarble backing, not having the 20 million, what can they do to help keep putting themselves relevant in that argument to where they can eventually take that spot, where they can be the predecessor to Core, or Muddabuff and shimmy on by and take that lead?
They need to start grabbing from the non-Paragon player base before Pred and OverPrime do. Because once they establish themselves as this hero plays like this game plays like this, in people's minds, that's what they'll think that these heroes and characters are supposed to play like. That's kind of why Predecessor has such huge community support, because they played the most like old Paragon did, and people just have it in their minds that that's what those characters in the game is supposed to feel like.
Except Decker. But anyways.
Yeah, but I mean, we haven't seen Decker yet.
So, no, and I agree, but I just think my biggest thing is what I was saying is they need to capitalize on this near future that's happening. The movie going live, they need to get a patch to fix this optimization. They need to have that patch that brings in Iggy, and not have that patch that brings in Iggy set us back in optimization again. They need to capitalize on this near future to help catapult them further into the area of what I call them being in the lead, to help them gain where they're lacking, where Mangu says they're not in the lead in that area, because that's until they get that balance, it's going to be hard, but they need to capitalize on these zones to get to that spot as well.
So I got a question. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down real quick, guys, if you guys think that Predecessor is going to have a free-to-play early access.
Oh no, they're definitely not.
Okay,
he's definitely not. Like, he's got inside information.
No, I don't have inside information. I just, from experience, I 100% don't think that they're going to have a free-to-play early access.
Okay, and what do you guys think are the chances that OverPrime will have a free-to-play early access?
Yes, they will.
Interesting. So you guys are split on that one, 50-50. Now, what if?
Just know that I've been in the Gen chat for all these games, and there's been somebody that was asking a moderator for OverPrime if they're going to have free to play, and they keep referencing the same Q&As, which lets you know that at launch, it pretty much is saying, the way it's worded is at launch it's going to be free to play, which we understand as a MOBA that's what you're going to do. So they had one of the mods went back and asked, I believe they went and asked Bumblebee about it, and then they updated the questions, and still nothing has been changed about the early access. They guaranteed early access at the end of this year, right? When early access comes up, is it going to be free to play? They still have not made that an acknowledgement yet, so don't know. So, but I don't think so.
So with that in mind, what if before summer ends, and when does summer end? Like middle of August, I think. I'm fucking horrible with this shit. Is it September?
I believe it's September, yeah.
Bro, I don't fucking know. Anyway, all right, so let's just say July. What if before?
It's always Labor Day, right? I mean, isn't that what it ends like? Labor Day is like the last holiday.
Fucking no, bro. I don't know. I was born on an island. Anyway, so
no labor on the island.
Different type of labor. Anyway, but what if Fall within the month of July drops free to play? Will that change perspectives? And this is a big if. That's just assuming that they do free to play around the time of the movie, because I think it would be a good idea, just speculation. But what if, would that actually place them in a better position in the race, so to speak?
I think so, because I think, again, you need to draw from the not Paragon community, and I think free to play is the way to do that.
Yeah, no, 100%. Since we've been doing the show with Mangoose on here, Mangoose has been asking for free to play, and that's been for a long time. And when that he first started asking for it on the show, I didn't think we were in a good spot for it. Yeah, 1300 patch 13 was enough to bring Mangoose back to the game, but it still wasn't enough to bring to somebody who's not a MOBA player, somebody who's not, a Paragon fan. Like, it wasn't in a good enough spot. I do think we are getting to that spot. If optimization was where it was, let's say like 3 patches ago, then whatever, if we had that optimization with the gameplay we have right now, we'd be in a great spot. If free to play could drop it right now, I'd be okay with it.
People definitely prefer the faster gameplay that we have right now. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, that change, that faster gameplay was good. That Fault was slow. It wasn't like, it doesn't need to be overprime fast. Like, that speed's too much in my opinion. But like, it definitely was slow.
So the reason I ask is because we've seen, as of, correct me if I'm wrong, October, they started talking about full release. And I think it was October. It was like a couple months before the release phase. They started mentioning full release, right? And then they've constantly been asked by the community free to play. Like, even in its state that it is right now, let's say even if there is optimization issues, free is a big fucking motivator. Like, you'd be surprised, bro. Like, people will try a piece of shit game and be like, hey man, that shit's free, we're having fun, fuck it.
All the time. I do it all the time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, hey, you know what,
tries to get me into so many games. Come on, man, it's free. I'm like, no, dude, it doesn't look fun at all.
Bro, but free changes perspectives.
Where's it at?
The moment you even charge $1
with me,
bro, but the moment you even charge $1, even just $1, perspective now changes, because you're exchanging hard-earned money for the game, right? When you feel like, hey, like, I don't know, like, let's say if I decided to make some food for you guys off rip, and it's just like, hey, you guys didn't pay me anything, you didn't give me anything. It's like, hey man, 4th of July, here you go, here's a burger. You'll be like, damn bro, thanks. Be like, you like the burger? Of course I like it. It's a free fucking burger. Why wouldn't I like it, bro? You get me? You're not gonna sit there and be like, oh, I really wish that my burger would have some onion rings on it. Like, you get me? Like, you don't do that. You don't do that shit when it's free. Now, if you go to a restaurant and you buy a burger for $15, now out of nowhere you're like, yeah, that wasn't worth $15. We should have got
getting your burgers,
bro. Trust me, I've paid $40 for a burger before.
What?
Just because I wanted to see if it was that good, and it wasn't.
Was it? Nope.
No, not at all. I'm like, bro, I definitely have made better burgers at like the homie barbecues. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. Like, the people's mindset are so easily swayed when it comes to free. And I think, I mean, you brought up Fortnite, right? I think that's one of the genius exploits in the gaming world that they expose to everybody. The fact that the game doesn't have to be the most realistic visuals. The game doesn't have to have the craziest animations. When Fortnite came the fuck out, that shit was basic as fuck. Burgers only get good at $41 on Lucky. Yeah, you're right, Mike. I gotta get my burgers in the UK. You're right. That's the problem.
One more dollar.
Yeah. But
I would upsize
it. should have got the large fries. But you get what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, even like, how many, like, out of all of us here, did any of you guys try Fortnite before it even was a battle royale? Save the world.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, I tried it.
Okay. And then, Bearded, did you?
The reason I didn't is because you had to pay for it.
Okay, fair enough. And then when it was free to play, off rip, like let's say those first couple months before it blew up, before even Christmas, did you get a chance to play it? Back when Paragon was still on and you had people playing both Paragon and Fortnite? Yep.
No, I didn't play until after. I guess it was still. I played it after the announcement of Paragon being shut down, not after Paragon was shut down, because I wasn't one of the people that continued playing the game when I knew it was being shut down. Once I knew it was being shut down, I felt like I felt like even though it was free, I felt like my time was being wasted because I'm not getting anything out of this. If I get a mastery skin, what's the point, right? So I quit playing Fault. So that's when I jumped over to Fortnite.
So even back then, Fortnite wasn't as polished, as good of a game as it is right now by any means necessary. But people still loved that shit because it was free. They got to pay with their buddies cross-platform. They had a couple of cool skins, nothing fucking crazy. You get me? Like basically the equivalent of Paragon skins or less at the time, right? So it was to the point that the fact that you gave people a free product that they could play with their homies cross-platform was gold. That was the key right there. If Vault were to go free to play and they do become cross-platform free to play, I think that shit's gonna be golden. I'm not saying that they're gonna be able to do it in a certain amount of time. Of course, other companies with more money, they might be able to do shit faster. But for Fault as a game, I think free to play is closer to Fault than any of these other games. And with that in mind, if that's the case, I don't think it's a question of whether they can stay relevant. It's more of a how much of an impact are they going to make once they are? Because free to play will make them relevant. The question is, do they stay relevant once they are free to play? I think that's a bigger question for me.
Okay.
Also,
no, I mean that's legit.
Real quick, like it's really easy for us to make these decisions. Like, yeah, they should definitely go free to play because this, and this. I'm not staking years of my work or my money on that decision. Like, it's pretty easy for me to kick back and say this shit. Like, it's dumb of them not to do that, but I'm not the one fucking. I don't have any stakes in it, man. So
as we sit here drinking,
I just want stakes. But do you have a $40 burger in it?
Oh, I got a fucking $61 steak, and it was so much better than my $60 steak.
Angus is definitely a pork chop guy. You can tell.
I think we prefaced that in the beginning of the show is how
pork chops.
I think we prefaced that in the beginning of the show with how we just like this is more like our views, not not them. So I mean, I agree with you. It definitely is. They need to make that right decision. But according to at least these three members of the community, they're in a good enough spot they can do that. And I think you can base that
ahead, like in your terms ahead.
Not in my terms ahead, but over time.
I was about to say, because you just specified that your ahead was different. And now he's like, wait a minute.
Over time,
instantly shut me up. I'm like, wait, what?
Over time, it would put them ahead. Over time, it would put them ahead.
Over time, and over Prime.
They would grab the player base that nobody else is grabbing, and make the game their own. Which is another. I want to address what FPG was saying later on down the line. If you guys,
go ahead.
That up too. No, we're in this conversation right now. We can bring it up later.
Okay. No, I do think free to play is huge for them. That it's something they need to do. It's what we talked about episodes ago. I can't remember the episode to reference it, but we talked about casting that wide net, right? We can't just cast a net for the Paragon or the Para refugees. We got to cast a wider net, and we got to bring the Overwatch fanboys over. We got to bring the Smite fanboys over. We got to bring the Call of Duty fanboys over. We got to bring everybody over. To try this game out and have them, see what it's like and have them, bring their friends in, because then once you cast that net and you get those people over, and then it's gonna be a word of mouth situation. Right? You get that word of mouth. Go ahead.
Just the random dude playing a free game they found on Steam, because that's how we all found Paragon.
Right. Not on Steam, but on PlayStation. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I found it, but I haven't owned a console since the PS1.
Right. But I mean, yeah, and then you have that random guy that played a game, like I have Brofaults downloaded on my PC because this jackass over here, like,
you didn't download it.
Fun. We played, dude. You and me played together. I was the broccoli.
I was there.
Smash. Yes, you were there.
You were the beef.
You were the beef. You're what's for dinner?
Hashtag beefcake. Anyway. So I think Goose has brought up an interesting point, and I do want to talk about what FPG said about the assets here in a little bit. But I think Goose brought up an interesting point. The fact that the moment they go free to play, and credit to what he was saying earlier also, the moment they go free to play, that just means more people are going to try it on a more frequent basis. And then at that point, it's going to be of individuals getting used to playing it. Because it's a new game to a lot of people. They got to get used to it, right?
Correct.
But if Fault is the first one that they get used to, because it was the first one free to play, you will then play any other MOBA out there and compare it to the one that you play the most. Just like there's people till this day that play all these games and they can compare it to League because originally they were League of Legends players.
Right.
So I think if they go free to play earlier, they have a better chance of influencing people as to what these games should feel like. And if they get to that point, then they could easily start turning people towards them. Because again, imagine they go free to play and, like, for example, we have Predecessor confirmed early access by the end of the year. We have OverPrime confirmed early access before the end of the year. How long is it going to take them to go free to play full release? That shit might not be till next year, right?
Right.
And even then, if they go free to play in the summer, a full 6 months of free to play, that's a pretty sizable, like, it's like starting a race with a head start. You get me? You don't have to be the fastest racer.
Conversation. You said free to play full release. You mean free to play early access, just like what we're talking about with Fault, being on the same page as Fault in that regard, or do you mean free to play full release?
Well, no, I'm mentioning them as to the assumption that their early accesses will have some sort of barrier, whether it be a paywall, even if it's just like 99 cents to get or whatever, right? Just because that's normal in the industry for an early access,
right?
And I'm saying, if for the rest of this year, 2022, all the other games are early access with some sort of wall to get in, and Fault is free to play for the rest of this year, I think the rest of this year could be enough of a head start for even the slowest person to make it to the finish line.
Yeah. No, I agree. I concur. No, I think that's the best thing they can do. But I think they need to. That's another reason. Like, again, like we said, this isn't our work that we've been putting into time, whatever. So it's not our decision. But I think that's a reason for them to do it, is because these other games are around the corner. There is a chance that OverPrime does come out free to play early access. If they do come out free to play early access, then you lose that time. Right. So let's say they come out free to play early access in October. Well, we're talking about if we go free to play in middle of July, you have middle of July to October. That's what, 3 months, that you have that you had your chance of being the only one that was free to play. And then OverPrime comes out and then there's that. So then you lose that time. Right. We're banking on the fact that they have a paid wall. If you have that paywall, then you have that 6 months of free time or whatever it is. Maybe not 6, but whatever it is, it's definitely something they need to try to take advantage of while they still can.
But each other said can't be worse than Battlefield 2042. Hey man, I'm gonna be real with you.
I played it.
You didn't?
No.
I think you're okay.
I never really dug the Battlefield games to be honest, but
I was never really a Call of Duty guy either, but I got pulled into that one and I got stuck on that one for a while. But the Battle Royale is the reason why I played it.
So let's talk about, when we talk about, I actually want to hit up the FPG comment before we talk about this other thing that I want to mention.
Yep.
So, and I guess it kind of goes along.
I don't know which one you guys are talking about.
So
should they change the base skins over time? Which seems like a small thing up front, but I think that's a pretty big thing. And I think they should.
Yeah, because FPG brought up a great point. If they all go to PlayStation, do you think PlayStation wants 3 games using the same assets in a similar gameplay style? Which
I already talked to Sony about that. They don't care.
I was about to say, they don't care as long as they make money, right?
Yeah.
Who do you?
That's like
How do you have what? You've been talking to Sony?
You don't know that story?
No.
I called him up impersonating media from IGN and asked him about it. Long time ago. Long fucking time ago.
You're a goat. You're the goat.
Right. There we go.
That was back when it was fucking. It was just like Metabuff and Pred, I think.
Okay. No, no Phoenix Rising.
Well, Phoenix Rising doesn't really count because they had their own assets.
Oh, sure, they were doing their own assets. You're right.
But
all right. That's
you're the fucking goat for that. Yeah, I mean, that would be like saying that any of these developers care. It's like, hey man, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is like, oh, but they're both Call of Duties, they're both shooting games. Why would they want to make it the same? Because they're still going to sell millions. They're not going to care. At the end of the day, PlayStation's going to get their cut. That's all that they care about. You got to make money? Bet. No problem.
But even that situation, that's still a good comparison because you do have Call of Duty, which is one Call of Duty is Treyarch, the other one's Call of Duty, which is whatever it is. I'm not a big COD guy. Yeah, I thought there was another one, but anyways,
Treyarch?
So either way, like you have Treyarch. No, I think I said Treyarch already. Either way, it doesn't matter. They have two companies that are like, one makes this Call of Duty, and the other one makes this Call of Duty, right? So then they alternate every year, right? So it's not always using the same IP. The IPs change a little bit differently here and there, but I think it would be a good idea. You go with FPG's asking, I think they should do it, just so they can have that little bit more separation from that, right? Because let's just this as a small example, not saying this is the main reason to do it, but let's say one of the other games had a huge issue, whatever, and whatever that issue may be, it has a negative influence on some people, right? So they go out to play Fault and they see that same thing, and that just instantly makes them think of that other issue. They're like, no, I don't like this character, this is that issue, right? So if you just change their base skin to where it's not that situation, then you would have that, like, you wouldn't have that instant, like, oh my gosh. It would have to be later on once you start playing the person, like, wait a minute, I recognize some of these moves or whatever. Like, that would be like, okay, that would be what it is. But you don't have that instant, like, nope, I'm not playing that person. I remember that one.
Hey, do they still have, I hate you. Do they still have that guy that created all the skins on the team? Like the Mastery skins and the Several Vacation skin? He's still part of the team. That hasn't changed, right?
Yeah, Artbang, I just gamed with him the other night.
So, well, Artbang was the one that came up with the concept, but there's another one that actually made it happen.
They actually made the skin? I don't know.
Well, I haven't heard anything, so I'm just gonna go under the assumption that he's still part of the team, right?
Right.
We were all pretty impressed with the execution of the Mastery skins. The fact that it's like, hey, each hero has 4 different tiers of skin, right? Yep. Each hero has 4 different tiers of skin. They were able to pump those out fairly quickly. They were teasing them for quite a while, right? So, I mean, who's to say that ever since those Mastery skins got introduced that he hasn't been working on skins nonstop since then?
I would hope so.
Like I would assume fair enough, but I would assume that if they did to go with anything, any move, any season 1 pass, free to play, whatever, like any big moves overall, I would assume they already have quite a bit of content already saved up. Again, bold assumption.
I mean,
I guess we don't know.
Going off of the fact that, so we had season 0, right? We had those skins that were made for us, and then we had the mastery skins. Other than that, we really haven't had any skins, for anything, right?
Yeah, a couple here and there, like Gideon
and Decker, both fantastic skins. The Chimera
by that new guy.
0 skin though, right?
Chimera
that was
skin,
early.
That was early. So yeah, Gideon Decker, right? So they did come out Gideon Decker, and that was like a little bit of like a very small marketing thing they did, very small.
That was a little bit of spice for sure.
Yeah. That wasn't spicy, just a little bit of spice.
Paprika.
But paprika. So, but I mean, like, other than that, they really haven't. I mean, they've teased Tough Richter skin. They teased a Panda Boris skin. They've teased the golf, the vacation Sevarog skin. They've teased a bunch of these skins, but we haven't seen any of them. And we do know, like, it's safe to assume, I'll say, I guess, that there's going to be another season pass coming out, whatever that might be. And there's going to have to be something for that, and that's not, I don't think that's going to be the only way of skins being accumulated. They're going to have, we had the Valentine's Day patch skin, which obviously was just using the texture that was already used in Paragon before, and they put them on a couple different characters, but that was kind of like a Valentine's Day thing. They had a
cool idea. They
had the COVID skins, everything, the money that went to the COVID
the relief pack.
Yep, that relief pack. They had those skins. So I'm assuming they're going to have another, like, a couple packs here and there, coming out. They're going to be another way for you to get, let's say a Tough Richter skin, right? The only way for you to get Tough Richter skin is in the store. Like, that's not going to be something you get in the season pass. It's going to be something you actually have to purchase. Bro,
if they don't have a Greystone that is just a shirtless Greystone with the head of a goose, I will fucking riot.
Why do I gotta be Greystone?
Yeah, why would?
What do you mean? Have you seen your logo? He looks like Greystone. Just
that is true. That is true in that situation. Yeah.
I don't know. I think like OverPrime has been changing the base appearance. The base appearance of their heroes, and I really like. It
was great.
I think that's a good move. I think anything that these companies can do to pay tribute to Paragon while also distancing themselves from Paragon is a good thing. Like, they need to reiterate that they are not Paragon, and you should not expect Paragon whenever you play this game. And I think changing the base skins would do a lot to help with that.
Not changing the names, changing the skins.
Well, if you do change the names, pick some good ones, not fucking Beatrice.
Beatrice. Hey, man.
I think the one out of the three that we're talking about, I think Predecessor would be the only one that wouldn't do that, because they have said that they want to be pretty much as close to Paragon as possible.
I don't think they've said that, but that's what they are.
I said pretty much.
That's what they're doing.
Pretty much. That's what they're going. I mean, they want that same feel, that same situation that you had before Paragon shut down. They want you to have that feeling, and that's kind of what they're going for. And I think to have that, you'd want the base skins to be the same.
Yeah. So, I think it's a good idea for Fault, though, to change the base skins.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, because Fault's said from the beginning they're not trying to be Paragon.
What if Fault literally just made the base skin a Fault skin? Like, specifically. Or because they could easily just kind of do like some other game out there might do and be like, hey man, this epic asset came with a couple different skins. We're gonna choose the full chicken skin as the base skin for what we're doing. You get me? Like, it's very possible that they easily could, as an early thing, they easily could just remove all the base skins and use other epic skins as the base skin. You get me? That would already kind of change the vibe of everything until they at least get their own. Like, Chimera has his own. We brought it up. Decker has her own. Gideon has his own. Those could be base skins in the game if they get like at least one skin per character of that caliber. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
It's doable.
I get what you're saying, but at that point, like, I don't know. I think it's something that just, when you're ready for that transition, just make it happen. To do the little things like you're talking about, because then, like, I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter either way, because I mean, for me, anyways, I'm saying for me, it doesn't matter if to do what you were talking about or not, because the default skin I don't use. The default skin is an accidental use. It's a missionary skin, and I get yelled at by Mangoose if I pick a missionary skin when we get into a match, because you don't pick a missionary. Skins win games, right? So I don't pick the
Skins
default skin, right?
I wonder how. It would be interesting. I would love for all of us to just make brand new accounts, go in with no skins, no money, and how long would we be able to play before be like, bro, fucking tired of this missionary skin, bro. Like, bro, this is driving me crazy. Like, holy fucking shit. I can't.
I don't think it would annoy me that much.
No.
You guys want to see my asshole? Right there. He's a little asshole and he's mine.
Fuck out. Oh my god. Bro, he said that shit. I'm like,
assholes are normally towards the front. That's towards the front. The back, I mean.
Hey, God, he farted while I was fucking holding right there. Jesus Christ.
That's karma. Shit. Oh man. Now, can we talk about Fenmo?
Yeah.
What about Figmal?
No. Okay, so there's
needs the fucking play. He needs the Kalari treatment.
There is a very popular opinion that Feng Mao is broken in the game. I think I saw somebody in the chat mention it with Quang too. Like they're saying absolutely busted. Now, I got my own 2 cents on this, but I want to hear it from Goose. Goose, do you think Feng Mao is busted in fault?
I think they haven't tuned that knob enough yet. He was busted as fuck whenever they released him. And they've been slowly dialing him back. I still don't think it's quite enough.
Right. Thank you.
Like a Boris Kalari situation.
Yep. He needs a Kalari treatment. Nerf.
I mean, even Kalari, though, as she is right now, she's pretty fucking broken against people that don't know how to fucking play the game. The moment
situation. I know.
I mean, it's the same thing with Feng Mao, though.
I can play the game and I can handle a Kalari now, right? I've always bitched about hating Kalari because I can't stand it. I still don't like going against her because the invisibility is a pain in the ass to deal with. But I can play against a Kalari. I don't have an issue going against Kalari right now, right? I hate going against the Feng Mao. If I see a Feng Mao match, I'm like, all right, here we fucking go. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I ward. You guys can go back and watch any of my VODs. Hey, there's a VOD of a fucking Mangoose mimicking me because I said I bought a Sentry Ward for the Blue Junk. So, like, I always buy, I ward. I know how to ward. I know that's the thing to do to save your life. I do it. Feng Mao still broken. I wouldn't say broken, overtuned. I would not say broken to the point. I mean, I guess there is a bug apparently that he's broken with. I don't know. I haven't experienced that bug, but I would say it's overtuned.
True. Heard about that. But now, do you think it could easily be the fact that he is a infinitely scaling hero, the first in fault, and that maybe it's just the fact that fault items are what make him broken, not his actual kit?
No, I think it's his dash.
Interesting. Why is that?
But you can't outplay him. Everybody else you can outplay to an extent. Figmal will always catch you. It doesn't matter what you do, what kind of crazy shenanigans you pull, Figmal will always catch you.
And then when he caught you with his dash, you died, and guess what? It's reset, and he gets to dash away, even though your team was there to help you, and he's gone.
Yeah.
Isn't CC the way to kill every Feng Mao, though?
Yeah, but you can't guarantee that CC. And like I've bitched about as support quite a few times. Like if you have a Countess and a Feng Mao on the same team, you're fucked. Your ADC is fucked. Because I can stop the Countess or I can stop the Feng Mao. I can't stop them both. And one of them's going to get that ADC.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what do you think they should do to him? Just a dash?
Increase the cooldown on his dash or lower the distance dashed. Because it's kind of bullshit that like Gideon, like you outmaneuver him, you juke him out, you portal away, and he has 2 dashes before you have your portal up again, and he's on you and you're dead because you're not going to survive against the Feng Mao's Gideon.
Does he? The cooldown's that fast on it?
The cooldown on his dash is fucking crazy.
I think they need to get rid of the reset on execute as well, because that, like, you going in getting that kill, like you spent your dash to get in there to get that kill, right? Now it should be a challenge. All right, so but you made that decision, so now you have to suffer the consequences because you put yourself in a position to where you can't dash out, right? There's no risk there. Dash in, get the kill, dash out, right? Because it reset. So now he's back to safety again. And you gotta, I mean, that reset, I don't even understand why he has the reset. And the reset on ultimate, like you're already gaining power off that ultimate. So the fact that it resets on execute is just stacking more power and more power and more power every time you're able to get that. That's insane. So I think the time frame in between executes should be nerfed or decreased or whatever, to where like you have to get it in a quicker time. You can't, not just to give them, all right, here you go, now run across the map and get another one. Obviously I'm over exaggerating for
dramatic
there,
purpose.
but yeah,
I don't know, man. Like,
it's because you're a Feng Mao lover.
I love Feng Mao. I really do. But I can tell you, as somebody that plays Feng Mao quite a bit.
Beers in chat. I know these people everybody who's sitting here defending Feng Mao are the people who love to play him.
But here's the thing, like as somebody that's played quite a bit,
taking advantage, like I'm getting wins, I want him to stay this way.
No, but I mean, we've been on the same team when I've been Feng Mao and I just got shit on. You get me? We've been on the same team where I've been Feng Mao, just destroyed people. Regardless, whatever I'm building, right? The whole point is, so if he had to be balanced, if there is an issue with his balancing, I think the bigger issue is that you have an infinitely scaling damage dealer that is allowed to build a tank. Like if you build a tank Murdock, you wouldn't be a good Murdock. You get me? If you build a tank Kalari, you realistically wouldn't be a good Kalari. But if you build a tank Feng Mao, you're still a good Feng Mao. Does that make sense when I put it that way?
It does.
And the fact that he's still infinitely scaling in power, and then as long as he grabs the proper favor, he can basically get extra power.
I don't think it's the scaling though. I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is the frustration that comes from playing against him, outplaying him, and he still catches you. Like that's the thing. Like, I mean, Countess has been broken to that degree forever. Like when a Countess gets ahead, she fucking destroys you. Everybody knows that. But there's ways to outplay a Countess, and when you outplay a Countess, you get away. Maybe you don't kill her, but you get away. You don't get away from Feng Mao. It just doesn't happen. It feels like it feels like it doesn't matter how good you are. Your skill doesn't matter because you went against a Feng Mao. And when a player feels that their skill doesn't matter in a game, that's a source of frustration that the company needs to address.
Who do you think they should pull like a Wukong? Move him for the game till they figure him out?
No, they just need to increase the duration of his dash or decrease the range of his dash. I think everything's centered around his dash for real. It used to be centered around his shield because his shield had ridiculous scaling so that you could burst people down before they knew what the fuck was going on. But they've done away with that. Now I think the problem is the dash.
See, I also wonder can some of the problem be the fact that he does have a shield though, and he's a shielded assassin, like which makes him more of a brawler assassin, which then it negates what you're doing. Like you should be one or the other.
Like an identity crisis in his kit, you're saying?
Yeah, somebody said that early in the comments that he has an identity crisis, and I agree with that as well.
I mean, maybe that's just them trying to reinvent the wheel while also trying to keep original Feng Mao with the shield, you know?
But I think that's one thing they need to do as well is they need to. You have Feng Mao, and his main thing what he's able to do. The shield was not like, man, I can't wait to play Feng Mao and use his shield. No, yeah, that's not what people are like. Said they're like, that's not the thing. Like you can get rid of this. It's the same thing with Predecessor changing Decker's bubble. All right, people don't like playing Fault. People don't like her bubble, right? And a lot of times this bubble, you got to reset it on. You got to click it again to make the damage go away because you can't actually get max damage on her bubble because nobody's gonna sit there like, all right, let me just stay inside this bubble she's damaging me with. No, they're actually gonna fucking move. So you got to hit it again so you get that extra damage off of it. So Predecessor made that change to where now it's this fucking giant beam going across the
unless that's her ultimate. Yeah,
or that's her ultimate. But I believe they said that was her replacing the bubble. From what I've seen. But anyways, you can make those changes. That's fine. Make those changes and make it unique, make it your own. Like I say unique as in the fact that that's something that's not on Feng Mao. When I say unique, I know that there's other games. League of Legends has how many heroes now? So for us to sit there and pick an ability that's never been thought of before is almost impossible.
They can't even do that. Like literally, they'll release a new hero and be like, oh, his Q is from this character, but he's got this character's E, and for some reason he's got this guy's ultimate. This guy's broken. That's literally League of Legends right now.
So, but I mean, I said earlier when we were talking in Gen Chat, and someone came about, like, I said that I liked Predecessors. I don't like their item art. The item art reminds me of PlayStation 2, but I like their items, like and how they have the uniqueness with it, like the moon boots, right? The ability to, like, just like you could put boots on and you have this extra jump, right? Or that lightning bolt, ADC item where you every fourth like the League of Legends static shiv with a lightning bolt. Yeah, and like I was like, that to me is a unique item, right? It's not just a stat booster, right? It doesn't just boost your stats. It literally is giving you this little unique adds to the experience. Yeah, that's what I call it. That's what I mean. I'm considering unique. So to give him something unique that's not normal Feng Mao, but that still fits with his character that you want him to be. Whether you pick brawler or whether you pick assassin, pick one and make his other ability match that. I mean, so if they took away his teleport, or if they reworked it, it would get rid of the assassin part of him, I think. Because if he just had to normally walk up to you to kill you, I don't think that makes him much of an assassin. I think the whole point of an assassin is to sneak up on you, teleport to you, go invisible. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that's where he gets the assassin, right? But then he has his shield, which also gives him that brawler. So one of those abilities, and then the ultimate gives him the damage. Right. And the spin around gives him utility. Yeah. I mean, I totally get what you're saying. I think that's more of a... I hate to say it, but I just used the Boris example, right? Like every time that we see in any MOBA a character that's a little too ridiculous, right? Because it's borderline normal, borderline demanded for a character to be strong on release and then slowly get nerfed, right? People are like, it's like statistically they rather have a super strong hero that people love to play but hate and there's controversy about, they talk about it, etc., as opposed to an underwhelming hero that nobody's going to talk about in a week. So okay, but what is Boris? Well, what I was going to say, the whole Boris thing is Boris was Strange Matter's first, I would say,
true creation and express their whole expression of, hey, this is what we think a kit should be, right? They were like, okay, so we're gonna add this, we're gonna add complexity to his kit, we're gonna add like the sniffing, we're gonna add the execute, we're gonna add the dash forward and it's 2 hits, we're gonna add the passive that the lower he is, the lower his target is, the more damage and heals. You get me? Like, all in all, and people were like, yo, this guy sounds dope. Once it actually got implemented, at that point it was like a little crack.
No, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but my point is, what is Boris?
Fair.
Yes, he is. Nice. You are
He's
a
bruiser.
A bruiser, right? Bruiser, brawler, whatever term you want to use there. But he doesn't have an identity crisis. He is that, right? So what you have to do there is now you have to nerf him, right? You have to find that. You have to fine tune that situation and find where those will work.
Where you want him to be.
But if I nerf Fang Mao, if I nerf his dash to where now his dash is no longer usable,
You're only nerfing his assassin side. You're not addressing the other parts.
You're taking that away. Like, so it's like, or if I nerf his shield, I'm taking away the brawler side of it. So it's like, you literally need to pick one so then you can balance everything around whatever he's supposed to be. You can't balance around 2 of these. You got to pick one and it's easier to balance.
Yeah, they tried to do their own thing with him, which is commendable because he was a bruiser in Paragon.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tried to make him more of an assassin, which is cool, but he has a bruiser kit and they just gave him assassin power levels.
Ooh, I mean, realistically, we keep talking about his ultimate and his teleport. If Feng Mao had no shield, that's trouble for Feng Mao. I don't think you'd see Feng Mao be as confident leaping in, teleporting in all recklessly if Feng Mao didn't have a shield. Because correct me if I'm wrong, the shield still scales pretty well. It just doesn't burst and do damage.
Yeah, but now it also gives him lifesteal, I believe, is what it does off that. So
true. So, but him in Paragon, that shield wasn't that great. It came back pretty quickly, but it was a rather short shield. It was more of a, hey, I situationally timed it to absorb 1 instance of damage.
And that would be fine with me. So that you're saying more of the assassin side, right? He was more of an assassin in Paragon. What shield does Countess have? What shield does Kalari have?
He was more of a bruiser in Paragon.
Yeah, he was more of a bruiser, but what I'm saying, his shield, even as a bruiser, wasn't as strong as it is right now.
And a lot of skill expression though, because correct usage of his shield in Paragon meant the difference between winning a fight, losing a fight. Now it's just you pop the shield as soon as you go in.
Yeah, you just spam it on reset.
Yeah.
So no, I there just needs to be a balance to it. However you want to do it, I would prefer him to not have an identity crisis. Let me know what he's supposed to be. But
yeah, leave a comment. I'd love to hear ideas about the kit for sure.
But I would be okay with a rework. Give not a rework completely, but just give us a new ability. Put a new ability on it. I'd be okay with that because I think that would be something that would kind of pulls them away from the other 2 that we're talking about, and adds that more uniqueness to them. And it's the same thing of changing out their default skins. Like it does that as well.
Honestly, the whole gaining lifesteal while under the shield, that's a pretty dope idea. It's actually pretty cool. But it's the fact that the shield is so massive, right? Like if the shield were smaller and you still had that little bit of lifesteal, that could be a pretty tactic laning phase. You get me? Gaining some health back. It would be much more outplay potential. But then again, if you use it at the wrong time, you're fucked because it's a little shield, right? Like if you're building him as assassin damage, which is kind of the way they wanted him in this new duelist class, like more damage, maybe with like 1 tank item or 2. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So at that point, it's almost like he would benefit from the lifesteal. Like currently, I don't think the lifesteal really does shit because everybody's just kind of building him tank.
Yeah. I think another issue, and it goes back to Maggie was talking about the dash. That his dash is an item. Like he automatically gets the death blink automatically. Like that, he doesn't even have to buy it. Like he just gets it. Like that's a part of his ability. So that he now has 7 items in his with what he has going on compared to everybody else only having 6. I think that's another issue with that as well, with that reset.
You know what? I just saw FPG say Fault isn't ready for melee carries like Seraph. What if they did throw Seraph in there? And then people are like, oh, she's more broken.
As an ADC main, I'm gonna hate it because I literally avoided in Paragon. I avoided all of the melee ADCs just because I was always that I had to play defensive. I got to play back, because I didn't want to die. And I felt like every time I ran up and tried to kill somebody, I was like, I'm dead. Well, fuck. So
barely anybody played Seraph as an ADC in Paragon.
I was about to say she was a jungler, bro.
Solo laner.
I had a buddy that did it a lot, but it only worked because I was playing Richter for him.
It was only because of me. Oh man, I'll tell you what. So a little shout out. Hey, can we say who the guest on next week's partner panel is gonna be? Are we cool to say that? Yeah, we can, right?
I mean, didn't tell me no.
Okay, just checking, right? Because I'm like, oh, I just thought about this a little late. No, so on next week's partner panel, guys, we are going to be having Ryan Red in here, community manager for Fault Strange Matters. And it's going to be interesting because it's basically happening the week before their dev stream, right? So it's almost like we get to kind of poke his mind a little bit before the dev stream. Now, I highly doubt he's going to leak some shit to us. Hopefully he does, who knows, right? So get your questions ready for next week. I'm just throwing it in here now because I want people next week to be in the comments, be like, Ryan, answer this question. Answer this question. What is this? Because it's gonna be interesting talking with him over the details and just kind of even poking his brain a little bit. Sounds very alien.
Comes out of fucking nowhere, right?
So even if he's not able to answer the questions right here live on the Fault Partner panel, there could possibly, because I do know that they have a mod. They'll usually like, hey, any questions for the dev stream, put them here, and then a mod will take those questions and then put them in question form and then put them on the dev stream. So if we put those questions here, there could be a mod that sees those and is able to take those and have those expressly put on that little form that they will read on the dev stream as well. So even if your question might not be answered here, it potentially can get answered on the dev stream. So still come here, leave those questions.
Yeah, bro. I'll tell you what. Are you guys planning on asking any specific questions? Like, I would love to hear one question that you plan on asking.
I don't know, man. I just learned about this like right before we started recording.
Bro, no fucking way. Are you trolling me? I can't with him.
He just doesn't remember being a part of the conversation.
No, I said before the recording.
Right. No, you don't remember the conversation. Like, we had a conversation with Ryan, but okay. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought it was later.
He said, oh, that's next week. Oh. Aye.
I mean, I do want to ask, about, recording the movie and how it went, like getting things set up for the movie and stuff like that. So I do want to ask something like that, but I don't know if they'll be able to answer that, but
I have one question for Ryan Red. Console win.
Yo, I can't. Hashtag soon. No, you know what I would love to ask, and I know I'm not going to get an answer. I'm not going to get an answer on the dev stream. I'm not going to get an answer next week. I know for a fact I'm not getting this answer probably ever. I would love to know how much Strange Matter Studios has made since early access. Because my theory is that number is way bigger than people fucking think. And if people actually knew the number, just by throwing that number out there, they'd probably be like, huh, I'll be damned. Okay. All right, maybe we should take these guys a little more seriously. I don't know the number, but
let's build on that. You don't know the number, and none of us know the number. At least like Mangoose might know, and he's just kind of like holding it away from us. But we talked about, Mangoose said earlier about how people think that 20 million is like instant success or whatever. If we knew the number that they made, would we be impressed or upset?
Well, that's a great question. Because let's say even if it's just a fraction, right? If out of nowhere Strange Matters came out and said, we've made $3 million in Steam early Founders Pack alone. Even if it's a smaller number, and that pales in comparison to a 20 million.
Right.
I think even that number would get people to be like, damn, okay. All right. I see you. You get me?
I see you, baby.
Shake it.
He's talking to Goose. But yeah,
no, I think I agree with you. It does. That number would be like, I would be impressed with that number. But I also think the way some of the pessimistic, I think that's what I'm looking for, fan base we have would just look at that number and like, you got made 3 million and this is the shit you made, like couldn't make anything better. Like I think there'd be people that would have that outlook on it.
I think people would have that outlook even if they said they made 100 million, or even if they said, "Oh, we've only made 20,000." I think those pessimistic people, like, they're still gonna have it like 20,000, and you still got this HUD. Like you're not gonna be able to get rid of those fucking people. They're gonna say that shit about whatever. It's like, oh, look at this guy. He's a lawyer driving a Camry. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Go back and work at the pet store. Be quiet. Like, you feel me? Those people
in jail.
Right, those people are gonna be there.
Home.
Those people are gonna be there. You're not gonna be able to stop them. But now, let's just say if it were even the 3 million, I genuinely think people would see Paul a little bit differently and be impressed and be like, hey, maybe there is some seriousness to it. Because yeah, you're gonna have people that are gonna be like, oh, yo, like for example, we brought up Predecessor's 20 million. There are people that are gonna be out there a year from now, and they're gonna be like, this is all you did in a year with 20 million?
Right.
I could have started 300 Hungry Howies, bro. Or some random shit. You get what I'm saying? So people are always gonna hate. But
referencing some Florida ass shit, man.
I'm sorry.
Nobody knows Hungry Howies.
Y'all don't know what up north doesn't know what Hungry Howies is?
We got Hungry Howies there. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
They made it.
Be quiet, Goose.
They made it.
They've made it. It's like Little Caesar is slowly started carrying the pizza further. Jesus. But I honestly think that even if it's a small amount, I think it would get them more community support. And if it is a larger amount, I think it would give them hashtag more street cred. Because I really do feel like for example, let's say there's a mom and pop shop. Fuck it, we brought up burgers. Let's say there's a mom and pop shop making burgers around the corner, and you're like,
$41 burgers.
$41 burgers. Let's say they're making those $41 fucking burgers, the mom and pop shop, right?
You're going bankrupt quick.
Well, no, let's say, and people might think that, right? People might be like, yo, doesn't seem as busy as McDonald's. Maybe it's not going that great for them. Like, yo, they haven't updated the outside in a while. Maybe mom and pop shop isn't doing that great. But now if you hear, hey, the mom and pop shop made $1 million last year, you're like, God damn. You know what?
So
let me shut the fuck up. Yeah. But still, even that, like, you get me? Like, people will be like, all right, let me shut the fuck up. Apparently they know what they're doing. Because people see the validation. Like, even if it's just, if they have earned $1 million or more, I would love for Strange Matters to say it one day. Because it's not gonna happen.
Double-edged sword. That is a double-edged.
It's not gonna happen. No, but bro, like I'm telling you, like I don't know what it is. Like all we could talk about all like US and UK specifically, probably other countries too, but everybody around the world has like idolized this $1 million value. Like people equate the million with success, right? You could be making $300,000 a year driving around in a Lamborghini and people will be like, it ain't no million. You get me?
There's no such thing as a thousandaire. Nobody's a thousandaire.
Oh, I'm a hundredaire.
I'm a dollaraire. All right.
We call him the Prince of Virginia.
West by God, Virginia. Thank you very much.
So, I mean, there is the term millionaire, right? And that's that situation. And once you've made $1 million, you became a millionaire. Now, if you spend $1 of that, you're no longer a millionaire because now you're only at 999. So, anyways, but that, I mean, so you're right with that situation. But now you've always been the business guy, right? I think this is the best business decision. Now, put yourself in that business seat. And what are the negatives of you announcing that situation, and what would hold you back from making that announcement?
Think of the comments, man. Think of the comments.
Bro, no, what would hold me back is literally the fact that I didn't do it beforehand. Because if they would have announced it the moment they received their first million, that is a company achievement that everybody that's ever tried to make a business would be like, G fucking G. The moment Predecessor did their seed round and got those 2.2 millions, they went from just stream donations to 2.2 millions. What did they do? They fucking boasted about it, even if they had done absolute jack shit with that money yet. Because they wanted to know people that the work that they're doing is being validated by some external source. And that moves people's ideas. I would have done it earlier. And I still would do it in the proper time with marketing in order to show people, hey, this product has been given validation by other people. Even though there might be haters out there, look at how much that we've earned. You get me? This is how many people have helped us get to where we are. And now we have a better product because of all of you. Welcome back. Look at what we have to offer you now. Here's a season pass. Here's a whole bunch of skins that we're throwing in, free to play, etc. You easily could make shit happen and use that as a tool. Sorry if I'm going a little bit too deep with that shit.
No, you're good. I mean, I'm not completely against it. I'm just trying to figure out like what would be the reasoning that they as a business would decide not to do it. Now, Mangus, you said think of the comments. So what do you mean? Like, we're just talking about just negative?
Oh my God, 100%. Like, I mean, people had already been making comments about the Predecessor announcement. It would be fucking 100-fold against Strange Matters. People saying like, oh, well, fucking, where did that money go? It obviously didn't go into the game.
Right.
I told you this shit was a fucking scam.
Yeah, but aren't those comments going to happen regardless? The moment they release a skin for $4.99, somebody's gonna be like, "I told you this was a cash grab."
Strange Matter needs to stay the fuck away from talking about money.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think that they already fought that battle, and those crickets aren't chirping as loudly anymore. And the moment we bring money announcement into that situation, those crickets will start to wake up and be louder and louder, which is definitely something you don't want to do when you're trying to bring new players in.
Yeah, monetization is how they poisoned the well from the beginning, and that's why we're in the situation we are right now with such a small player base. And it's just reciprocated with the smaller player base increasing the amount of problems that Fault has. They need to stay away from talking about money.
Interesting. You think monetization affected them that hardcore early on?
Oh, goddamn right. Yeah, people paid for a product that they didn't get, which may not have been Strange Matter's fault. But goddamn it, fuck this name for this goddamn game. May not have been their fault, but it's still fucking poisoned people against Strange Matter. And then they had the fucking season pass and shit. People came out the gate disliking Strange Matter because they felt they were a greedy company. If you release anything with money, people are going to fucking jump on it.
But we know that they're going to have to make money advancements, especially the moment they go free to play.
We know it. We're fucking civilized human beings. Not everybody is.
Well, then why act in fear that the cavemen might retaliate in the comment section?
Because there's more cavemen than there is civilized human beings.
Yeah, I mean
the civilized human beings typically are the ones that have the money to spend them.
Look at the benefits and look at the negatives. The benefits do not outweigh the negatives in Strange Matter's case. They do in Predecessor's case. Strange Matter is a different fucking story.
Just because of prior situations.
Just because of the way it released, yes.
Now, what if Predecessor comes out, paid early access, and they have a season pass right off the rip?
I don't know. People still suck their dicks, but
well, we already know OverPrime is confirmed loot boxes. But what if they do paid early access and loot boxes?
OverPrime's not the competition. OverPrime's going to maintain their own shit in Asia.
Yeah, I agree with that. I believe the competition. I mean, they have a slight competition just because of them being it's a MOBA using the same assets, but the style of play is completely different. I think that they'll be able to survive. Viking Jedi references it a lot. He thinks that it's literally just the fault predecessor. It's between those two who's going to be able to advance on.
Interesting. But yeah, I just wanted to post that question to you guys.
I have the best beard, so that answers that question when you're watching the show.
Oh, his is pretty luxurious and curly.
Oh, he has an amazing beard. I love it. I just think mine's better. So,
dang, bro. So bearded has the best beard. I have the best aim. Rip. Better Jedi. Anyway. Oh, shout out to Viking. He's a cool dude. But yeah, I mean, we're getting about the 2-hour mark. I really wanted to ask you guys a couple of these questions specifically because one thing that I've noticed is that within these Paragon communities, all these supporters of these games, I really do feel like they're as bipolar as some of these announcements that we get at times from different companies, right? And I feel like I see the same person that was shitting on one company 2 weeks later be like, that's why this game's gonna be the best. I'll tell you what. Y'all saw that last update? I'm like, what is this guy on about? Like, yo. So, all right. Yeah, I just want to get your guys' opinion on things.
I have to ask you. I know we're getting that 2 hour mark, so it doesn't have to be crazy long with the answer. But what is up with the people? Let's say you didn't like Pred at all. Right? And if you don't like Pred at all, you don't even play it, you're not even looking for the stress test or whatever coming out. Why are those people in the Discord? Right? There's a guy that does not like Fault. I asked him. The only thing this person likes about Fault is the Shogun fucking Murdock skin. That's the only thing he likes about Fault. The rest of it, he can't stand any of it. And he doesn't even play the game. But he comes into Gen Chat and he'll sit there and trash on it like almost daily. It's like, dude, like if you've got no constructive criticism and you don't like the game, why are you even here? Like, why do you waste your time? Like you could benefit somewhere else. You know, talk about your games that you love. Why are you here?
Let's watch the
in my head, I almost think,
I was about to say, bro, some people are pinky, some people are the brain. You get me? And right now, my dude is straight out brain with no pinky, just sitting there. It's like, what are we gonna do today?
Right. But I mean, like, then you have this situation. It's like, I almost feel like part of them are staying around because what if Fault does succeed? They could be, no, check, I've been here since the beginning.
Yeah.
Like it's like one of those people that just want to jump on the bandwagon when it finally does start taking off. Like, it's like, why? I don't get it. Like, I just feel like I'm
Maybe they don't have a Netflix subscription.
That's
You feel me?
Discords because I feel like these games all have a chance for success, and I want to be there. I want to try them all. I want to play them all. So I'm all about it. But like, and I have my opinions on some of them. I don't like OverPrime, how fast it is, right?
Bro, it's even amazing that you're in all 3 of the Discords actively engaging. That shit alone is just like, hey man, I'm convinced at this point. You have a little notepad with the name of servers that you go down the list and say good morning in every single fucking one of them. I'm convinced.
It's not a notepad. I have them in order of the ones I do. It's a cutoff, right? And then after that, it's like anything below that, I don't say good mornings to those ones.
He said, yeah, fuck those guys in that folder.
Part of those Discords, it's just because I see you in other Discords, so I say good morning in other Discords to you. I don't need to go to every Discord and say good morning. So, but no, I have like 12 Discords that I say good morning in.
GG to you, my friend. But I mean, I guess it would be the other side of the same coin from what you do. You have Discords that you want to support because you want them to succeed. He probably has Discords that he absolutely fucking hates the game, and he's like, let me see who I'm gonna fucking trash talk today. He's gonna be like, oh, it's 5:30. I got till 6 o'clock. Let's fucking go. Like, who knows?
I mean, I guess I just like, I don't understand those people. I would like, I mean, I don't know how long it could last. I'd like to sit down at a bar with somebody like that and just literally let them try to explain themselves to me as I finish my beer and see if I can last the whole time or if I just walk out, because like, I just don't understand.
You've never seen somebody like that at a bar, bro? You've never been at the bar and somebody just randomly starts ranting about something just totally random, and about halfway through you're like, all right, this guy's either a psycho or divorced. It's one of those two. I can't tell which one right now. like you feel me? Like, it's just the way certain people act. You know, something fucking scarred them. They're battered as fuck. That's a traumatized man just wanting to vent to the world, and nobody will fucking listen. So he'll go to the only place that he knows he's gonna get a reaction, and that's the Discord.
It's true, but I see that you said get a reaction. I feel he could go to that same Discord. Or not that same Discord, but go to the other Discords, right? Go to an OverPrime Discord and trash on Fault, and he's going to get that same reaction, but he's going to get a positive reaction. He's going to get the people backing him. Oh, yeah, I hate that game, or whatever. Or go to Pred Discord, and he'll get people, oh, yeah, I hate that game, whatever. Like,
yeah, but he doesn't stand out if he does that. He goes to the other Discord and does that. It's like, hey, we've already had 100 of these comments, and there's moderators in the other Discords that are like, hey, man, don't trash other games in here. Chill out, you know?
Right.
But the moment he comes into Fault Discord and starts that shit, now it becomes White Knight versus Mr. Brain. And now they're going at it back and forth and yada yada. And he's like, oh, I got the reaction I want. Okay, Blue Knight.
So no, you're good. You're good. That's something I think needs to change as well. I think that there's certain times, like, you give somebody a certain amount of time, right? You give that, because like they like to say, hey, they as an SMS like to say, we appreciate all opinions, you know, that's fine, you know, like we get, you know, you're allowed to have your opinion. I think comes to a certain time that when this person is no longer actually any benefit to the Discord society, we should just get rid of them. That's my personal opinion.
Oh, yeah, bro. If I would have been my Discord, like the third time, 3 strikes are out. The third time he's just in there instigating. It's like, hey, man, are you here to support the game? No? Gone.
Yeah.
That's it.
That needs to happen. That needs to happen. Like, no, I get there's people who come in here, people who actually support the game, play the game, come in there and they'll blow up and vent. Like, and just, oh, this sucks, whatever. But then they'll come back in the next day or whatever, and they'll start talking and they'll give constructive criticism. They'll put stuff in the feedback log, whatever. They'll do things to actually help create, you know, make the game better. That's fine. You can come in and bitch about the game all you want, as long as you're a supporter. I don't care. But like when you don't, like you literally said the only thing you like about the game is Shogun Murdock, like get out of here. Poof, be gone.
Get right out of town.
Yeah, bro. Literally,
sorry.
just no. It's a valid statement. It's a valid statement, and unfortunately, it's like we were saying. There's just gonna be people that are always their goal is to throw a negative comment in sense of a reaction. It's just like Mangoose is gonna make a dope as fuck YouTube video probably within the week. I promise you, there's gonna be one hater in there and be like, "Who the fuck is that cat?" Like, you feel me? Like, then somebody's gonna hate on some random shit. Asshole. That's his asshole. Yes.
I should have named him asshole.
But yeah, so I think it's about time to conclude. We're right about the 2-hour mark. So first, I want to thank everybody for watching this far. If you guys did watch and or listen this far, excuse me, go ahead and drop a GG in the comments below, just so we know that you're one of the OGs that made it this far. So be mindful, these podcasts and both audio and video format are recorded and streamed on Fridays in Bearded Wolverine's channel, and then from there they get posted after the fact into Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. But besides that, let's do our quick little outros. I want to start with Goose.
I just want to say that we have nothing. I mean, maybe Windu does, but the rest of us have nothing against people that work at pet stores.
I can't believe you remember that fucking comment.
I wrote it down.
He's like, I've been waiting half an hour for this shit. Oh, Jesus, bro.
I just want to let you know that don't spend $40 on a burger. There's better places for cheaper prices. So look somewhere else.
Well, since I'm being put in that spot, first of all, legit, one of my best friends works at a pet store. So that's the first thing I fucking thought about. So like, go back to your pet store. Shout out to him though. He used to work at Geico for years. He quit Geico while he's taking his helicopter pilot license, and then he's using the pet store as gas money to travel all the way to Tampa. So shout out to him.
He worked for the gecko and now he's selling the gecko.
Oui. What an art. And there's plenty of good fucking burger joints in Florida. Y'all should check these bitches out. Y'all can hate on me all you want. There's a lot. Hey man, no, I've had some pretty goddamn good burgers. Like $40, no, that shit wasn't worth it. But I've had pretty damn good burgers where I was like, this is an actual fancy as fuck, like 3-4 star sit down restaurant, like waiters and shit, like all proper in suits and whatever. And I get handed a burger and I'm sitting there as like, am I allowed to pick this bitch up, or do I need to be like, yeah, just slowly start cutting the burger? Like, I feel like this is a thing. I don't know. But yeah, check out burger joints in Florida. Thank me later. But no, as far as community goes, legit, I can't even, like, I know we speculate here and there, right? But at the end of the day, I think the next 2 weeks are just going to be very telling, right? The conversation we're going to have with Ryan Red next week is going to be very telling. The dev stream is going to be very telling.
Hopefully.
I'm looking forward.
If it's not telling you, we got issues.
Bro, I'm looking forward to the partner panel the week after that dev stream.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have a lot to talk about, whether good or bad. You get me?
A week after. 2 days after. The dev stream's on Wednesday, the 13th. We have a partner panel the 15th, the day that the movie drops.
Bro, the way my world works, that's a whole week. Anyway.
That's a whole week. 2 days. Holy
fucking Saturn.
I'm an island boy. Anyway. So, but yeah, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. And we're just going to cut it short and sweet. Till the next one. Peace.